Yeah, oh 12, that was Candace. Calm with complexion, body like heaven, and she was a dancer. Capricorn or Aquarius, but she remind me of a Cancer. She called, I would answer. Late night phone session with the camera. She tryna make a movie on the plasma. She moving like a pro, no amateur. Sex, drive, got stamina. She would ask, could I handle her? Then I'm a damager. You in need of a manager.
Hey Rose Petals and Rose Fellas, it is Candace Rose, and today's video is a story time of when I went to jail. Yes, you guys, this is not clickbait. This is factual, actual, and this is a true story time. This is something that I'm definitely not proud of, but if y'all are a ride or die of mine, y'all know that I'm super transparent, and I've held off on telling the story time for a few years because I didn't want to put anybody in jeopardy, and then at the same time, not only just that, but my case was still open, so I didn't want to further incriminate myself. But now that everything is closed and I got sentenced, then why not just tell the story time? I mean, who cares at this point? So if you guys do not know who I am Candace Rose, the Candace Rose to be exact. To all my new subscribers, thank y'all for watching my video, tuning into my channel, subscribe to my channel, and all my ride or dies, thank y'all so much for coming back. Y'all know I love y'all. I mess with y'all new and old. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to tell this story and keep it how do I say, I'm gonna try to keep it directly focused on me going to jail at hand and not try to place the blame on anybody or point the fingers. This was the beginning of January of 2018. Now, so what I got charged with a felony 5 of identity theft. Now, let me just say this. When I got charged, I was 33 years old. I have never been in trouble ever in my life. I never even got so much as suspended from school, other than like one time in my entire life. So I've never been in trouble before. So when I got charged with identity theft, it was strictly because of, well, let me just take it all the way back. As y'all know, I was formally engaged, and my ex-fiance, he wasn't a very compassionate person. I feel like at the end of the day that he merely just talked to me and he liked me just based off of my looks. Let's just get that out in the air. He really wasn't interested in anything that I did or anything like that. I think he just looked at me as arm candy. So I think that kind of was responsible of him proposing to me. So fast forward to us moving in together, and when we moved in together, I got to really see the real him. I got to see the type of person that he was, or lack thereof, or the person that he wasn't, or the person that I envisioned in my head, and that he really was not that guy. Things started to get a little bit rocky, and in my mind we were already broken up, even though we were still together. I had been hearing stuff about him. I had been noticing things about him, about his behavior, how he moved, and I just didn't like it. So one day he called me on my lunch break, because normally I would come home on my lunch break. I didn't work too far from my house, so when I came home, he just abruptly broke up with me. He broke up with me, he called off the wedding, and basically kicked me out of the house. When I left the house, he changed the locks on me. Now, he knew that at that time that I had an eviction on my record, so I never technically got evicted. But in the state of Ohio, if the landlord has to go downtown to file paperwork to start the proceedings of the eviction, even if you pay them, the fact that they had to go downtown and file, it's considered a eviction. And that's what happened in my case. They went downtown, they started to file the paperwork for the eviction, and I ended up paying them maybe like 2 days afterwards. Now, this is before I met my ex-fiance, and he knew that I had this eviction. He did not care. He changed the locks, and I got kicked out. He kicked me out of our home that we had together. So me being so distraught and me being very, very desperate, I had contacted someone that I was close with, because I knew that this person has a history of getting people houses and apartments in someone else's name. We just gonna leave it at that. Remember the video that I had posted, my last video, when I posted my questions and assumptions, when I said that you cannot put all your trust in people. That is one thing that I learned. I've definitely learned that regardless if you share blood or if you are a relative or a family member, you can't trust people. You can't trust nobody. And I have such a big heart that I put my trust in too many people, and that was the situation and how I wound it up in jail. So I reached out to someone who I expected or that I thought was close to me, and I reached out to this person and I asked them to help me get an apartment. Now, the money was never an issue because I always made great money. At the time, I had 2 really good jobs, and I was bringing home thousands of dollars per check. So the money was not the issue. It was the fact that I had this eviction hanging over my head. Had I known then what I know now, I should have just thugged it out. My grandmother has the biggest, beautiful house like on the block. If I just would have just moved in with her, or if I just would have moved in with my aunt and lived with them for 2 years, then that eviction would have been gone, and then I would have been able to get my own apartment. But the fact that I wanted to prove something not only to myself but to my ex-fiance, like, nigga, I don't need shit from you. I'm going to get my own crib. I don't need you, and I can make the money with or without you and still be able to support myself. I'm going to get my own crib. I just wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. I hit up this person that I thought would help me out, and this person basically hindered me, and they hurt me more than they helped me. My family did not know that me and my now ex-fiance had broken up, so I kind of wanted to keep everything under wraps. I just wanted to just move out, move into my new place, and then I was going to tell them, like, you know, we broke up, everything is called off, but I got my own crib and I'm doing okay. So I reached out to this person, had this person try to help me get my own place, and like I said, this person hurt me more than they helped me. So I was giving this person money to get me a crib in someone else's name. Now, this person had been running this little scam for 10 plus years. So you would think that this person would be super tightened up on their scam or whatever. So this is how I'm starting to figure out now, this year in 2022, that this person set me up and that they did it on purpose. I applied for this apartment, and the person or the office manager at this apartment, she knew that at the time the name, social security, and everything that I was using was fake. And the crazy part about it is that the office manager was a black woman as well. So if that had been me, and I wanted to not only keep my job, but I did not want to get this girl in trouble, i.e. me, I would have just called her and been like, hey girl, like, I'm hip to your game. Like, I already know that this is not you. I'm not going to proceed with your application. You can't move in here, and just going about your business. Now, I don't know about Ohio, but I think in other states, like, you cannot entrap. It's a law that you can't, if you know something is illegal, you cannot entrap that person to get arrested. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a professional criminal, so I don't know. For this person to have been doing this for so long, this person knew the name that she gave me and the social that she gave me was flagged. It was already flagged for a fraud alert, and she gave it to me carelessly anyway. And word on the street is that she told somebody that she didn't even want to help me out in the first place. So why just not tell me that you just didn't want to help me out? That would have saved me from getting in jail and having this on my record, and I would have just thugged this out, and I would have got my own place in my own name. But you just carelessly just tossed me a name that was already flagged. I'm assuming it was already used before. You gave it to me anyway. Okay. The office manager already knew that I was falsifying my identity. she went along with everything, and she basically was like, okay, well, you got approved for the apartment. I just need you to come in and I need you to sign some paperwork. So we'll sign some paperwork, like sign your lease and sign, a whole bunch of, paperwork when you move in. So I get down there, get to the apartment, and I noticed the maintenance man had came in behind me, and she was like, hey, this is your maintenance man, and you're gonna call him and contact him if you have a problem or whatever. So I'm under a whole nother name, a whole nother social security. Sorry, y'all know my phone had too much storage. So I'm under a whole nother name, a whole nother social security, a whole nother identity altogether. So she gave me the paperwork, and she was like, yeah, just sign your initials here, and then sign here and sign there. Now the maintenance man went to the back of the office. Now in the back of the office was another room. So I'm putting everything together. The maintenance man was calling the police. So when I started signing everything, I'm halfway done with signing my false name. I hear a door open, and I look behind me, and it's the police. So the police was like, hi, what's your name? So I gave him the fake name, gave them the fake name, and they asked to see some identification. So I reached in my purse, gave them the fake driver's license, and they was like, okay, can you stand up? Can you put your hands behind your back? You are under arrest for identity theft. And I'm like, what? Like, I was so shocked. I wasn't even scared. I was shocked more than anything. So now at this time, like back in 2018, like we had got like a really, really, really bad snowstorm. It was like a snowstorm mixed with rain. So I was the plan was to sign the lease, get the keys to the apartment, take some stuff over to the apartment. Then I was supposed to drive to Hocking Hills because my cousin, they rented a cabin, and I was supposed to meet all of them at the cabin in Hocking Hills. Well, that did not happen. So I got placed under arrest. I got taken down to, where was I? Where did they take me? They took me to Jackson Pike Jail. Anybody that's from Ohio, y'all already know Jackson Pike has been on the news a couple times for assaulting their inmates and for very, very terrible conditions. And y'all, when I tell y'all Jackson Pike is not anywhere that y'all want to be, y'all don't want to be there. So I got fingerprinted, I got my mugshot and everything taken, and y'all, I could not have felt more like a criminal ever in my life. I got interrogated for it felt like eternity, but it was only for like an hour or two. And the investigator basically told me, like, we have been watching you ever since December the 24th. Now, mind you, I had gotten locked up the first week of January. So they had been watching me this whole time. And the investigator was basically like, how did you get this? How did you get the ID? How did you get the social security? And what happened? What led up to that? So I basically told them my story. Like, I was engaged. My ex-fiance, he broke up with me, kicked me out of our home, and I was basically sleeping in my car, crashing on people's couches. Like, not only am I devastated over this breakup, but I had this eviction going on, and I didn't have nowhere to stay. So that was that. So the investigator kept asking me, how did you get this ID? How did you get this? How did you get the social? Now I'm thinking in my head, if I tell them where and who I got these documents from, this person is going to get in way more trouble than I am. So let me just go ahead, keep my mouth shut, take this on the chin, and hopefully this person can help me get out of this situation. And that's exactly what I did. I did not tell them anything. Although I was devastated over the events that happened before or that led up to me trying to get this apartment, I still was in my right mind, sound, and body to the point where I could have easily just backed out, but I didn't. I just kept going, and I didn't tell them anything. I didn't give up any names on who gave me anything, and I just felt like I'm gonna just take this on the chin, and hopefully that this person loves me enough that they're gonna help me get out of this. Because I'm such like a ride or die, and because I love this person so much, I never wanted to see this person go down. I didn't want to see this person go to jail either. I'm in booking right now at this point. I have no idea how I'm going to get myself up out of here. I called the 2 people that I knew I can trust, and that was my motherfucking dog, Phoenicia, my aunt, and I called my friend Masonique. Masonique is one of my really, really close friends that I met in Columbus, and she's one of them type of girls that's been through a whole lot of stuff but got her act together, and she's just one of them down chicks. Like, so I had called her and I had her call my aunt, and that's how her and my aunt ended up meeting each other. And then I eventually ended up talking to my aunt, and they were trying to think of a plan of how to get me out, but at that time I didn't have a bond, so I wasn't going anywhere anyway that night. I did call the person that gave me all this information, and I basically was like, I'm in jail, like I'm locked up, like, and this person was like, how I made sure X, Y, and Z, and this never happened. Bitch, you knew what the fuck was going on. You knew that this name was flagged, and you gave it to me anyway. But I kept my cool. My experience being in jail, so technically I was locked up for 18 hours. It wasn't a full 24 hours. I was locked up for 18 hours, and despite the fact that I couldn't have my phone and I couldn't leave, come and go when I wanted to, like, I was more shocked than scared. And how the jail was, it was more like a camp, so it was like bunk beds in a big room, and I just was so shocked. Like, I could not believe that I was in here. So when I was there, like, I really didn't get too much sleep, and I don't know if something bit me or what, but when I woke up the next day, I had this huge like welt or bump on my head. I know nobody hit me, I know that for a fact, but it was like real itchy, and it just was like, I don't know if it was just the conditions of Jackson Pike altogether, but my skin definitely reacted to it. Like, I had like a rash, like boil type thing on my head, but it did go down ironically when I left up out of there. So yeah, you guys, so I ended up talking to a couple of people in there, and they was like, the inmates in there was they was cool. And me being the fact that I formerly worked at a prison, and I worked at a women's prison, I wasn't even scared being in there. I was just so shocked that I was on the other side of jail. You know what I mean? The food in there was disgusting. It was gross. Like how inmates be talking like the food in here is trash. It's trash times 10. I was in there, but the girls in there was actually cool. Like when I went in there, they looked at me like, you ain't supposed to be in here. What is you in here for? Like they automatically knew like I didn't have no business being in there. But it doesn't matter how you look or what walks of life that you're from. If you break the law, you going to jail. And that's just it. So this person ended up finding me an attorney, and they paid the retainer for the attorney. And that was all this person did. They just paid the retainer. I ended up having to pay out of my own pocket for the attorney, and this is exactly what I get, and trusting in people and being loyal to people, because the least that this person could have did, they could have at least, not only did this person apologize to me and thank me for not writing them out, but they could have paid for my attorney. I'm still paying this attorney to this day for something that happened back in 2018. And I do kind of feel like that they gave me the most, I don't know, a trash ass attorney, because the attorney did not do anything to help me in my case. When I was talking to my boo, he basically was like, I mean, your attorney was basically trash because you was a first time felon, you're 33 years old. And that's something that the judge has said to me too. Like, you 33 years old, you have a great career, and this is your first time ever being in trouble. And so basically my boo was just like, your attorney was trash, Your attorney could have fought for you to get a misdemeanor, dropped it all the way down to a misdemeanor, and you wouldn't have had so much trouble. This wouldn't have hindered you so much had you had a misdemeanor. I was found guilty. I didn't have to do any jail time, but I was placed on probation, and the stipulations of my probation is that I had to keep a job and I could not get in any more trouble. So I kept my job, kept the same job. My probation officer was so freaking cool. Like, I forgot his name, but my probation was dismissed because my probation was for 2 years. But since I kept the same job, I did not get in any more trouble. They ended up closing my probation and I was off of probation. Because I'm so ignorant to the law and I've never been in trouble before, I'm thinking that because my probation is dismissed, I can get my charge expunged or I can get my record sealed. When I got the official paperwork from my probation officer, I was reading the fine print and it basically said, now mind you, this is 2019. Your charges cannot be expunged or sealed until 2023. So I'm thinking, well, no, this can't be true. So I tried to file a motion to get my record sealed, and long and behold, I cannot get my record sealed. I can't get anything expunged until 2023. So I'm devastated at this point. Even though I did not do any jail time except for that one night, I had no idea that this charge was going to hurt me in such a dramatic way. I can't get a crib in my name, and I definitely can't get a job without them running my background. Everybody keeps saying you can get it sealed, you can get it expunged, but on my paperwork, it specifically says I cannot get anything sealed. I can't get any expungement of any kind until 2023. My best friend did send me a document to where I can petition to get that dropped off or something like that. I can petition for it to be sealed when I'm finding a job so that it will not hinder me to find a job. That is the piece of vital information that anybody has given me. I know everybody has been trying to help me and saying like, oh, you can get it expunged, you can get it expunged. I can't get it expunged. I can't. So when she sent me that document saying that I can at least get it sealed so that I can get a job or that they cannot run my background, that was the most helpful information that someone has given me since this whole debacle. I can't 100% blame it all on this person. I have to take accountability for my own actions because at some point in time, I should have been like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna pull out of this. I'm not gonna go through with this. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna go crash wherever I need to crash until this eviction comes off of me, and then I can get my own crib in my own name. So I can only take accountability for my own actions. I put my trust in too many people, and I always be thinking that people be having my back, and they really don't have my back. That is my story time of the time that I went to jail, y'all, and I never been in trouble after that. And yes, it is 2022, and I have been taking steps in order to try to get clemency. So I did write the governor, and the governor's representative did give me some paperwork in order for me to fill out. And then my best friend sent me that petition. So I'm going to do both documents. I'm going to send them out, and I'm just going to hope and pray that everything works and I get clemency and I can get this dropped. And I'm going to keep y'all updated on my whole case. Y'all know I'm transparent. Y'all know I keep it real. I tell y'all everything, but this has definitely took a strike not only to my ego, but to my work life and to my personal life as well. Because, you know, something like this is very embarrassing. So yes, you guys, but it happens. It's life. And yeah, y'all, so that is the end of this story time. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.